Eufy E42 versus Eufy S340. Same brand, same solar promise, but the real split here is what you actually want to see in the frame. Raw 4K detail on one camera, or full pan and tilt coverage with dual lenses on the other. That's the call. And straight up, picking wrong means you either miss the action or you see it in a resolution that doesn't help you identify anyone. If you've got a fixed angle, a driveway, a porch where detail and license plates matter, one of these fits. If you need to sweep a yard and track movement across a wider scene, the other is the smarter buy. Both linked below with the current price.
Image quality. The E42 puts true 4K UHD on the sensor, and that's not a small thing if you actually care about reading a license plate from across the driveway or making out a face under the porch light. Eufy claims plate-readable detail out to about 33 feet, and the daytime footage holds up to that. The S340 runs 3K, but it splits the work across two lenses, a wide one for the scene and a telephoto with up to 8 times hybrid zoom. So here's the real trade-off. The E42 gives you more raw pixels in a single frame. The S340 gives you the ability to push in tight on something far away without pixel mush. For a fixed porch or a narrow driveway where you want one clean, sharp picture, the 4K on the E42 is the smarter buy. If your scene is wider, like a long yard or a property where the action could happen at the gate or near the shed, that 8x zoom on the S340 actually changes what you can do with the footage after the fact. There's an opinion floating around from someone using the S340 to watch a dock in Florida from hundreds of miles away, and the zoom is what makes that practical. Different tools, both sharp, but they solve different problems.
Coverage and tracking. Both pan and tilt. Both promise 360 degrees if you mount them vertically. Both use AI to follow people and vehicles across the frame. In practice, the S340's dual lens setup is built around the idea that you sweep wide and then zoom in on what matters. And the tracking on it is genuinely impressive when it locks on. The community reports it'll follow a person, vehicle, or animal full circle without losing the thread.
The E42 tracks well too, and people who own it like that the AI follows visitors around, which apparently freaks people out enough that they leave thinking someone's watching live. That's a feature, not a bug. But here's the honest catch with both. 360 coverage only happens when the camera's actually pointed the right way at the right moment. There's a thoughtful review on the S340 pointing out that if someone walks behind where the lens is currently facing, motion isn't picked up until they cross into view. Same physics applies to the E42. If you want true blind spot-free detection, you'd want a home-based setup with a separate sensor, and that's a different conversation.
For a single driveway or porch, either one covers it. For a yard with multiple approaches, the S340's wide plus zoom combo gives you more practical flexibility from one mounting point. Storage and the no-fee question. This is where Eufy as a brand earns the loyalty. Neither camera needs a subscription, period. The S340 ships with 8 GB built in, which is fine for short event clips and basic loop recording. The E42 takes micro SD up to 128 GB on its own. And if you plug it into a home-base S380, you can expand local storage all the way up to 16 terabytes. That's not a typo. 16 terabytes of footage you own sitting on your shelf. No cloud, no monthly bill, no company holding your video hostage. If you're the kind of buyer who wants a couple of cameras and that's it, the S340 is plug and play and you'll never think about storage again. If you're building out a real system across a property, multiple angles, long retention, the E42's home-base ecosystem is the smarter long game. Honestly, that ecosystem flexibility is the most underrated reason to pick the E42 over almost anything else in this price bracket. On AI alerts, both filter for people, vehicles, and pets, and both do a decent job most of the time. There's a recurring complaint with the E42 that motion sensitivity at night can trigger on bugs and dust passing the IR lens, and a similar gripe on the S340 about activity zones not always respecting the boundaries you draw. Not deal breakers, but you'll spend a little time tuning. Neither is perfect here, and they're roughly even.
Solar uptime is basically a wash. Both run on Eufy's solar panel system, both keep themselves topped off with a couple of hours of decent sun a day, and owners in everywhere from North Utah to shaded north-facing yards report the panels keep the battery near full year-round. Set it, forget it, both deliver. Price and value. Both sit at the same number, which makes this clean. You're not paying more for one feature set over the other. You're choosing which feature set fits your situation. The E42 gives you maximum resolution per frame, microSD expansion, facial recognition, and the door into the bigger home-base ecosystem with massive local storage potential. The S340 gives you dual lenses, real telephoto reach, built-in storage out of the box, and a slightly more mature, longer-on-the-market product with a deeper track record from owners.
On discounts, the S340 has been around longer and tends to drop more often during sales events. The E42 is newer, so deeper price cuts are less common right now, but it carries the more current feature set. Same money, different bets. Here's the call. No single winner here, and I'm not going to fake one. Same price, same brand, two different bets. and your scene decides. If your priority is fixed-angle detail, porch, a driveway, license plates, faces, the E42 is the smarter buy. The 4K and the home-based store make it the long game. If your thing is sweeping a wider yard with multiple approaches and pulling in tight on something far away, the S340 with its dual lens and 8x zoom is the one. The S340 has been around longer and shows up in sales more often, so worth waiting if you're patient. And you, which one would you pick? Let me know in the comments. Both linked below with the current price.